As it's drying, I might come back here and add a little bit more contrast to the back. These are much darker. I might go over these again. These portions of leaves that are in the background behind. And try to get that change in value. Right? And there are some darker parts here. Okay. And then with my light olive green, I'm going to go back to my practice portion, or my practice sheet, and see what that looks like. Right, if I start to put a layer of lime green down, what does the light olive green look like on top of that? And, you know, if I put the lime green, or sorry, the light olive green over the teal blue, you know, what kind of color does that create? Okay, so now I'm going to lay down this light olive green, and it's kind of a darker color. We're committing here, but there are still some really dark values that we need to get to. So starting with these leaves in the background, I'm just going to go ahead and put a coat of this on top. Go ahead and reinforce some of this veining in the leaf with kind of the chiseled edge, and then actually render the back portions of this a little bit darker. Same thing over here. And then for these, again, these darker leaves in the background, as I look at this, where I did my teal blue and did the light olive over that, I think that's a pretty nice green. So I'm going to take the teal blue and go right over what I just did to really darken these leaves in the background. To get a nice dark green. And I can actually bring some of that into the darkest areas of our leaves in the foreground. To start getting that cooler, darker green portion up. You know, as I'm laying this down, if I think to myself, oh, this is getting a little bit too dark, I don't get too concerned because I can always color correct that with the color pencils, right? So as you look at this now, it's a little bit choppy. There's a big jump from these dark areas to the lighter areas. So now I'm going to step back and get my light olive again and go over the edges and try to get those to blend a little bit more. Okay, and then you can see there's a jump from where I did the light olive to this lime green. So I can do the same thing with the lime green to blend that as well. So I get my lime green. And get that to blend a little bit better, especially over here. And then I'm with my lightest green, with this lime green, I've gotten a little bit, I've lost my edge a little bit on these leaves. So what I'm going to do is come in again with the sharp edge, kind of outline that again to get a little bit crisper edge. That's also something you could do with your color pencil, but I'm just going to go ahead and do it with the marker right here, and just try to get that, clean up these edges just a little bit. This top portion of this leaf is a little bit darker, so I'm going to go over the top of that again. And this leaf is considerably lighter, so I'm going to try to bring out some of the lighter areas by going over this with the yellow, with the cream again. And warming that up a little bit, and then doing the same thing down here. Okay, so you can kind of see how all of these different values and these different colors kind of bleed together, but you can feel some of the yellow coming up through the green. You can feel the blue coming up through the light olive, that teal blue color. And though it's, it's not the perfect representation of color, it's still lively. It still reads as a leaf. And these values are really working well together. I'm going to take my 90% again and actually go, and I'll go ahead and use the thinner, the smaller portion of the marker this time, and really pick up these shadows again. So I mean, this isn't quite a 10, but it's definitely an 8 or a 9. And there is a little bit of a shadow, the edge of this leaf as it sits on the one below it. So I kind of reinforce that edge. Same thing's kind of happening over here. All right, so there's a nice kind of base layer. All right, so now I'm I'm gonna get out my pencils and start to manipulate this